Alright, I gotta check out Skull Servants, man. I've seen this funny skeleton man for a while now. He's a mate. He's bacon, you know? So what's up with him? The king of the Skull Servants. Tell me his story. Yeah. This graveyard serves as a final resting place to many. Here in the place most suited to silence, a strange conversation began to unfold. Huh? Me? But I'm a Skull Servant. A story? About me? I'm nothing more than your run-of-the-mill Skull Servant. Well, if that's fine with you. So, did you have a reason for rousing me? Now, this is really more high effort than some of the older Duel solo games because the skeleton is animated, holy heck! No, look around. We're in a graveyard. They're probably sleeping in the earth all around us just like I was. If you call out to them, I'm sure they will come crawling right out of the ground. Yes, we're not exactly rare. Yes, although it seems like I've been asleep for a while, some of us might have already been taken to a better place. It happens sometimes. A shining angel descends, and they take us by the arm and lead us up into the sky. I don't know what heaven's like, but it has to be wonderful. Bright, warm. Incidentally, I was involved in quite the war once. We have numbers on our side, if nothing else. When we gathered together, we looked like an actual army. Well, it's not like we did anything in particular. We aren't particularly strong, nor particularly sturdy. We got blown away, smashed to pieces. Huh? Was that how I got killed? Haha! No, I was dead already. But no matter how many pieces we're blown into, it's only a matter of time before we're back to how we were. Apart from that, since I'm undead, I would love to be summoned by the Zombie Master just once. Have you heard of him? He's very popular among the deceased. I know it sounds silly from someone as puny as me, but it would just be nice someday. I've even heard rumors that there are some Skull Servants who admire him so much that they're trying to become masters themselves. I've been a Skull Servant for a long time, so I'm careful to live within my limits. But there are those among us with a little more spunk. If you happen to come across any Skull Servants like that, please be kind to them. They might look like this, but we're mostly friendly folk. Well, we've been speaking for a while now. I guess I better leave it here for tonight. It's no trouble, I haven't talked like that in a long time. It was fun. But it's time for me to return to my slumber. Let's talk some more if we ever meet again. See you. It's just randomly interviewing a Skull Servant for a TV show. That's funny. I bet a lot of those stills were old card art too. You know, these idiots are on a lot of cards. King of the Skull Servants has an effect that boosts its attack for each Skull Servant and King of the Skull Servants in your graveyard, which is boosted by white monsters being treated as Skull Servants or in the graveyard. So you want to dump a bunch of these guys into the graveyard and the king gets really huge. Okay. Some Skull Servant cards have effects that you can activate by sending them to the graveyard. Makes sense. You want to entomb them. Foolish Burial. We will send White Baking. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 2 monsters with different names from your deck to your hand that are either Skull Servant or mention it, then discard 1 card. Alright. So we send White Baking, add 2, discard 1. Which allows us to do more stuff. White Prince and White Princess. Okay. White Prince and White Princess. Alright. So White Prince says, if this card is sent to the graveyard, we can send a Skull Servant and a lady in white from your hand or deck to the graveyard, so we can entomb 2 more. And then we can also banish 2 plus this card. Banish 3 cards, including that card, and summon King of the Skull Servants out. Alright. Let's curious about this one. White Princess says If this card is normal or special summon, you can send a white prince from your deck to the graveyard, which triggers it as well. Or you can keep it in your hand and use it as a hand trap that forces everyone to lose attack defense equal to their own level rank. Alright. So we send White Prince to the graveyard. And White Prince activates in the graveyard in order to send Original Skull Servant, this funny little vanilla monster, and the Lady in White. Lady in White doesn't seem to do anything other than count as a Skull Servant. Alright, now we normal summon White Princess, which sends another White Prince to the graveyard. And White Prince is not once per turn? It is not. Wacky. Alright. So we'll send another Skull Servant and another Lady in White. You can now activate the effect of White Princess to nerf all monsters. And finally, we will banish 3 cards. It doesn't really matter which ones we do. They all count as Skull Servant. And then we do a special. King of the Skull Servants. He gains attack based on the number of Skull Servants the King of the Skull Servants have in your graveyard. So now he's a 5,000 idiot. It's each one times 1,000. Okay. Wacky. But disrupt a battle and send to graveyard. Banish one of the King of the Skull Servants or Skull Servant in the graveyard. Okay, so he literally just comes back. That's funny. Okay. You just dump a bunch of guys, dump a bunch of idiots into the graveyard and make a really huge beater. That seems fun. Okay, let's try it out for real. Alright, we got a new guy, White Lord. If you're a Skull Servant or King of the Skull Servants to the graveyard, send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard. And then you can just send even more. Ooh. Oh, and this guy is just banish himself and then special... Alright. Wacky stuff. Alright, so I want to normal summon White Princess here. White Princess sends White Prince. White Prince sends Skull Servant and Lady in White. Since we have Skull Servant in our graveyard, we can now send White Lord to the graveyard. And then we can dump 4 cards in the graveyard. We've managed to mill Skull... they're all Skull Servant. We managed to mill White Baking. White Baking will let us add to discard 1. White Mare. Okay, what do you do? Target one of your banished Lady in White as being Skull Servants. Special summon. We've got King as well. 1 King and 1 want to dump King of the Skull Servant so we can revive it from there, I think. Okay, White Lord is once per turn, which makes sense. That's a huge mill otherwise. Okay, so add 2. Dump another White Prince in the graveyard. White Prince effect. Then Skull Servant. Then Lady in White. Okay. Well, we dumped it for more mills, so we don't have Big Boy King of the Skull Servants here. But I think we're good on that. We can pass with this. I mean, surely the loner is not going to OTK us. Like the opponent loner. We'll let them go. Special summon white baking. Oh, okay, they're doing it now. Alright. Yeah, see, we're just fine. We can live. 500 damage is totally fine. Okay, we're ready to do the OTK stuff. I mean, we'll just normal summon him, right? The King of the Skull Servants. He is 10,000 damage. Do we even really need to do anything else? I don't think so, right? Behold, 10,000 damage! Your white baking won't save you. Haha, funny skeleton man. As the clock strikes midnight, two figures are bathed in the moonlight's soft glow. In this graveyard full of sleeping souls, yet another strange conversation takes place. Hi, I'm back for a second interview. Was it you who woke me up? Okay. The story? I'm just a typical skull servant. Then how about a story about my war days? What, you want to hear about something else? Why don't I tell you about my family then? My wife is a lady from a good family, and so beautiful that she is wasted on someone like me. Naturally, she's quite willful, but I love that about her. I'm making myself blush. I have kids too. My eldest is a boy, the youngest a girl. I'm not sure if it's me or my wife who my son takes off the most in this department, but he's quite the rascal. Lately he's been going around saying, I'm gonna be king someday, for some reason, although I have to say it's encouraging to hear. Even if the king he means happens to be the king of the Skull Servants. The Skull Servants above all others, that might sound nice, but the job actually comes with a lot of trials and tribulations. Oh no, I wouldn't know firsthand, it's just what I heard. I have a daughter too, and as a father I might be biased, but she is absolutely adorable. It actually confounds me that such a lovely, sweet wight could possibly exist. Of course I worry about her being so tiny, but her older brother looks out for her. They're both great kids. I also have a few dogs, and they are so unbelievably energetic. It's tough with them always running all over the place. Are all dogs like that? It depends on the dog? Well, I suppose that's true. Wherever we go on walks, they seem to find it fun to steal my bones and dash away. They're so quick that it's hard to get the bones back. It has happened so many times now that I don't even bother chasing them anymore. I just wait for them to get tired of it and drop my bones again. By the way, we've been on a family vacation before. Yes, a vacation, what of it? Oh, come on now. Being Skull Servants doesn't prevent us from leaving the graveyard. However, and I'd like to point out that this wasn't our fault. We did run into some issues at the airport. There can be only one. The stress of it all almost killed me. Thankfully, that had already happened. As it was, it just left me bone tired. Ha! Just a little undead joke there. But it was what it was, and we still had fun. The kids were so happy. Anyway, I think that's all the chat I have in me today. No, I'm sorry that I kept only speaking about myself. If we should meet again, I would love to hear more about you. Now it's high time you let me go back to sleep. Good night. Not the floodgate, bro. Yeah, I'm realizing now as well, now that I'm looking at it, the flavor of there can be only one. Right? Each player can only control one monster of each type. They're getting stopped at the TSA because they're all Skull Servant. So there's like some identity fraud / confusion going on here. Because the deck treats them all as Skull Servant in the graveyard and everything, you know? That's why there can be only one. There's only one Skull Servant. Which of it is you? You can't all be Skull Servant. Alright, bonus duo. Each draw one, discard one. Oh boy. What is this? We've got light swords in here. Yeah, you know what? I think it's the best one to do. Oh, it's only from the deck to the graveyard. I should have sent the White Lord. Darn. Okay, well, it's time to mill. Let's see. We can summon this guy, and that lets us mill another 2. Okay, sure. Why not? We did mill, we milled another copy of Wolf the Lightsworn Beast. So we can now, special summon. Now we will normal summon Raiden, Hand of the Lightsworn, and activate its effect to mill another 2. Aha, we hit White Baking. Let's go. Activate its effect. Add 2 cards and discard 1. So I think we always want White Prince and White Princess. Yeah, that works. And then we discard White Prince. White Prince effect. Send another Scout Servant, send a Lady in White. I think we can mill one more. Wait, we can synchro? Okay. I can keep going for a little bit. Exi summon Minerva the Exalted Lightsworn. Activate Minerva the Lightsworn's effect to mill the top 3 cards of our graveyard. And draw 1 card. We milled another Lady in White. And a Lightsworn Dragonling, which I think we've already used the effect of. So I think that's as far as we'll go. So that means if we want to maximize our mills now, I guess we can also send the White Princess before going for the White Lord. Yeah, you know what? We're just doing it to add 1 more. Now we can send the White Lord and then mill the top 8 cards. And we hit the other 2 White Princesses, which is very funny. Send Scout Servant, send Lady in White. Okay, we have no more there, so we'll bring back another Wolf Lightsworn Beast. And finally, we'll banish that one. And special summon the King of the Scout Servants, who has 11,000 attack. Very wacky. Alright. Okay. No need to overcomplicate things here, I guess. What do you have face down? It's too big! I can't hit over it! I was hoping. Okay. We were unable to kill this turn. We'll just have to wait. Normal White Prince for Linker Evo? White Prince effect in graveyard, send another 2. Also, White Lord special, a regular Scout Servant. Linked off for another Linker Evo. Banishing a bunch of stuff, brings out his own King of the Scout Servants. His is not going to be nearly as big though. What, Link Tree? Vampire Fascinator. Target a monster in graveyard, special it in defense, tribute a vampire, steal a... uh-oh. Linked off a Vampire Sucker. Well, this is what happens if you let him go off, I guess. Okay. Well, that's not a huge King of the Skull Servant, so that's fine. Alright. Activate Minerva's effect. Nail Tree. Didn't get enough to destroy. That's fine. I don't think we need to overcomplicate things, you know, we'll just normal summon this King of the Skull Servants. It was absolutely huge, and then we'll just activate White Lord and send the remaining 5 cards to our graveyard. For 1800. And there's nothing you can do about it anymore. Well, that's... I forgot about Linkuriboh Graveyard Effect. Oh no. No, it's fine. I remember now. King of the Skull Servants can resurrect himself by banishing a card from the graveyard. Behold, he rises again! And he claims his life regardless. Man, I completely forgot about Linkuriboh Graveyard Effect though. That could have been really bad. I almost decked myself out. I wanted to see big number, I'm sorry. Alright, challenge battle number 2. Got a different set of cards now that could potentially help us mill. Okay, even with the direct attack, we're not gonna kill this turn, so... Guess we'll see what that face down is first. Oh, Magical Merchant to mill a bunch. That's spooky. Ugh. That's gonna be a huge King of the Skull Servant, so lordy. He banished the King of the Skull Servants? I guess he can retrieve it later still, but... yeah. God, that's such a terrifying card to flip over. Yeah. It's huge, dude. What the hell? Okay, he's just doing a bunch of link summoning just to drop more monsters in the graveyard. For real, for real. Yeah. So he could have just done all that earlier. I needed a Linkuriboh. It's pretty rough otherwise. Once we go into the link monsters, there's not too much we can do to prevent ourselves from getting like instant one punch like that. So we need to be more careful, I guess. Okay. Normal Gozuki, Gozuki effect. Send white baking. White baking. Add white princess and white prince. Discard white prince. White prince effect. Send skull servants and lady in white. You know, I don't really know what this quick play spell does for us here. Can't link summon anything else in the moment either. Alright. White Prince effect. Banish 2. Special King of the Skull Servants. Activate White Mare. Discard White Mare. Return Skull Servant back to the graveyard. That's for later. And then we can just set up Dark Charmer, I guess. He can't use his flip effect going second right away, so... Should we go Vampire Sucker? Vampire Sucker or Dark. I think Dark is the correct call here for the end board. We can banish one of these to summon one of these. Okay, actually that works. That turns on White Mare for next turn. Special White Princess from hand, White Princess effects, and another White Prince effect. Send Skull Servants and Leading White. White Mare is also not once per turn, so return the banished Skull Servant back to the graveyard. White Prince is also not once per turn. Alright. Linktree for Vampire Sucker is also an option for next turn. That one is on Link Summon, so I think we end our turn here. Yeah. That's a decent amount of setup, and assuming he doesn't have a way to just easy climb all the way, then like he can't high roll with the flip monsters. So he'll do some setup here. But if he punches these guys, we get benefits anyway, so. There's some early Skull Servants. And he's gonna go for pumping. There's 2 for 3,000. $5,000. Why is he crashing? Linkerable. Okay. 6,000. I mean, sure. Another one? Oh, he's just throwing in more stuff for the negating, huh? Put it down to 3,000. Okay, well, now we'll do it. 4,250, Dark Effect in Graveyard. Add to our hand, the White Baking. Yeah. 2 Linkeribos. Banish some of the Lady in White. Link off a Linktree. Vampire Fascinator. Steal the White Mare out of my grave. Sure. Alright. I think we're set here. Okay, no more White Princess. Oh. Apparently I dumped all of them already. Okay. That's fine. Banish you and you. Special King of the Scout Servants. I think we just want to get one. We'll get a Link Crable into rotation here. Link up the Link. And link to Dark the Dark Charmer. Dark the Dark Charmer effect. Steal their King of the Scout Servants. Climb up to Link Tree. Does that help us? No, I think this is fine. We kill that, then we kill that. Yeah, okay. That goes back to our graveyard. We're at 8,000. Attack into that. 5,600. Into you know, he can't out his own stuff. But this is only until end of turn. Should have kept it. Well, it's fine. Whatever. We'll pass on that. I don't think he can out 8,000 King of the Scout Servants. And if he really just brings out another King of the Scout Servants, then I'll tag out into Link Crable and dump that. That should do it. I mean, that also works, sure. White Baking. We have this. Discards that. Add to discard one. Alright. King. And yeah, we're running out of stuff that we need to send, I guess. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I think we got this. Steal another one of his monsters. I'll steal his Link Tree. Activate effect. Steal the Link Crable. Now he can't do it anymore. Alright. Now we'll just dump white, fake, dump that. Nail the rest of our deck out. Now it's our turn to high roll, baby. Got a Link Tree, Vampire Fascinator, steal a monster out of their grave. This doesn't really matter too much. Lady in white. Summon. That gets White Prince in the graveyard. We'll steal another one, I guess. Right, that puts it on their field. Draw a card. Oh, that's fine. That still works. Okay. And now, vanish. And then we'll bring out King of the Scout Servants! Alright. That should do it. Behold! 18,800 damage! Alright. Yeah, Scout Servants, they've got like the big hammer energy, you know, you just want to bunk them. Same vibe. It's fun. Probably not the strongest theme around, but I imagine bunking somebody with like 10,000 damage is really funny.